Dave is from Norwalk, Connecticut. He is the founder failure of the infamous Orange V vodka that he'll tell you a little bit about.
I've basically been an entrepreneur my whole professional life, mainly because no one would ever really want to hire me. My background is in the bar and restaurant business during and after college, and then I started a marketing agency for beverage brands called the Idea Foundation. That was actually pretty successful. Did a lot of work for Absolute Vodka, which you may have heard of, Budweiser, Alizé, you may have heard of, and then some. And like any good actor, you think you can direct. So I decided to create my own spirits brand. The first one was Orange V, which I'll read a little bit about in a second. From that, finding the challenges being a small brand in a big world, created the Indie Spirits Expo to give other small failing brands the chance to show their products. Eventually, myself and a partner created Redemption Rye in 2010 and sold that 5 years later, and which was the comeback story. And since then, I've started another company, Proof and Wood Ventures, that has its own brands, invests in other brands, and fun stuff like that. But want to go back to my first product, Orange V. Like I said, I thought I could direct. I had a great idea. That's a story for another show. But I went, found a great distiller, had a great plan, and launched the product. And next brings us to our cliche quote, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Mike Tyson. And, you can read into that what you like, but it's the most common quote that you'll probably hear today. But I'm going to read the first review of Orange V Vodka to let you know. So, I had this idea, built a plan, mortgaged the house. Said, this is going to work. There's cash flow coming in a year. 5 years, we'll sell it to Bacardi for $1 trillion. It'll be good. So then I get this. Orange V Vodka. Impeccably clean and sediment-free. Off to a good start. The bouquet right from the first whiff is remarkably fruity and ripe. Aeration time of another 6 minutes accentuates this easy, friendly, gently sweet orange soda. Pop fruitiness of the aromas, not a profound bouquet. Here we go. Not even close. But an amiable one whose best face is its ripeness. Okay, not too bad. The palate entry taste goes off the charts and making a deep impression as it blasts out ORANGE. By mid-palate, my taste buds are screaming for mercy as the monster orange flavoring component becomes an unnecessary tidal wave of intensely fruity, pulpy orange juice. I get the picture on this one, mates, so you don't have to hammer it home quite that ostentatiously and brazenly. I'll go to the last sentence and then we'll move on. Don't even think of buying this slobbering bow wow. 1 star, not recommended. So that was mortgage the house. What happens when you get punched in the face? So we did this. Didn't change the tide. It was a long and painful learning experience about how the spirits distribution business works. Having done a lot of marketing, it all looked easy. I did not know the first thing about how distributors worked. It was real easy when I had the budget and strength of the Absolute brand behind me. On my own, not so much. So I just have a couple of observations from my experiences. This one's kind of obvious, but some people forget that. Your reputation is everything. And having been around the business a lot, I've seen a lot of different things happen. If you have employees, contractors, pay them. They don't care. Nobody cares that you have problems and what you're going through. You've hired people, take care of them. Suppliers, same thing. Pay them, be honest. It's amazing. If any of you guys have ever run a business, sometimes cash flow is not where you want it to be. Pick up the phone, call your suppliers. It's insane. I've called people up and said, hey, that money I owe you, it's going to take a month or two. And they'll say, well, nobody does that. Thank you so much. and they're actually thanking you for telling them you're paying them late. Simple things, but your reputation is everything. Investors, same thing. Be honest, communicate. It's one thing to tell people about the problems. You don't tell people about the problems, that'll come back to bite you. Distributors, retailers, honor your obligations. The coolest thing that happened to me when we launched Redemption Rye, I walked into a store in Manhattan where I'd sold Orange V. They were very kind and let me set up shop there. And I walked in with Redemption Rye. They were busy, and they said, you know, we really need some new rye, and we know you. We don't need to taste it. Send us 5 cases. So make sure you pay attention to your reputation. If you fail, that's okay. Come back, and you're still you. Set deadlines. This is from the department of don't do as I did, but do as I say. One of the things about having your own business and being invested in it is you always think there's light at the end of the tunnel, that something's going to change if you just keep going on and on. That's probably a real common problem. Decide, how long you're going to do this for and what the goals are and when you got to shut it down, or you wind up being a zombie brand. One of the other lessons you learn is don't regret what you've done. Kind of think about it, well, I made a bad decision, but at the time, it was the right decision based on what I know. So, don't regret it, just learn. And don't forget to celebrate the accomplishment of just bringing your dream to life. Let's see. So I've got this Bill Murray quote. It wasn't the one I was looking for. The quote I was looking for was, he said something to the effect of, even the worst movie that you make is an accomplishment. So much goes into it and so many people put it together that you should be proud of that, even if it's a terrible movie. We've all made terrible movies. But I found this one instead, and I think that's more appropriate.